name's Louise Holden and I'm the Partnership Manager for the Hate Crime project that is run by Inclusion London. So I just wanted to tell you a little bit about the partnership, why we were formed, why it's important to support disabled people, and a little bit about what we have done and what we're planning to do. So does everyone know what DDPO means? So it stands for Deaf and Disabled People's Organisation. So I'll explain a little bit about what they are a bit later on. So we were set up in relation to the hate crime network that was across London, UK. We're the only pan-impairment, pan-London organisation that campaigns on behalf of disabled people. We're a capacity building organisation. We don't provide any direct services ourselves, but I currently support 19 DDPOs across London. So what makes a deaf and disabled people's organisation? So you may think that a charity that's set up to support disabled people is a disabled people's organisation. That's not strictly true. What it means is that due to years of discrimination and prejudice, the word disabled has quite negative connotations for people. And what DDPOs are doing is reclaiming that word and using it in a political term as an empowering tool to say, as a disabled person, I'm empowered to fight for rights. So that's what this organisation is about. Now, some of the deaf community maybe won't identify as disabled. There's plenty of other people that don't, on the autistic spectrum, or people with learning difficulties, people with mental health even. But what I'm talking about is a political term with a capital D that's talking about empowering people. So what's more empowering than having organisations that are led by and run by disabled people? So I think everyone in this room is quite familiar with the scale of hate crime. We focus in London. These are a few of the statistics that I'm sure everyone is very familiar with. I think in particular to disability hate crime, it's the rhetoric in the media of benefit scroungers and cheats. And because of the increased level of hate crime, the increased I think people feel entitled to question disabled people. It even happens to people with hidden disabilities when they're using their blue badge parking bay. They're questioned publicly. It's quite shocking the level of violence that disabled people are experiencing at the moment. It's very similar to LGBT. It's the reporting might be low, but of those reports, the crimes that are being committed are extremely violent. And I think as a collective, we need to challenge this, because it's not just name calling. It's not just making people feel uncomfortable. It's physical assault, sometimes murder. You know, it's really, really serious. So what this partnership's been doing is we've been submitting oral and written evidence to the London Assembly, the Police and Crime Subcommittee, and we've also been submitting evidence to the online inquiry. We're working with Gallup as well for parity in the law, campaigning for parity in the law, because one of the things that as the partnership feel is that disabled people aren't coming forward to report because, one, they think they won't be believed, and two, they've had a bad experience in the past, so they're not going to bother. So disability hate crime is usually misreported as antisocial behaviour. So recent Met Police victim satisfaction figure shows that disabled people who are experiencing any type of crime, they have the lowest satisfaction level. And that's when they're reporting to the police and how they're dealt with by police. And it's actually on a par with BME community. There's a problem with the language that's used in the police and other statutory services, the term vulnerable. So disabled people do not want to be seen as vulnerable. They're people that have been put in a vulnerable situation. So the reason we've got the Pan-London DDPO Disability Hate Crime Partnership is that we really do believe that disabled people know how to support each other through DDPOs. We know that they have got the expertise and the lived experience to be able to deliver that for each other. Having a centralised phone line or London-wide service isn't enough. It has to be localised services. And more importantly, as a disabled person myself, when I was recovering and going through rehab after a car accident, when I actually accessed my local DDPO, I felt really empowered, and it just changed the whole course of my life. But instead of feeling that it was a negative thing, I actually felt very empowered by being in contact with my DDPO. So what we're finding is that for victims of hate crime, when they access their DDPO, they're not just getting support with the crime, they're getting support with lots of other aspects of their lives. So as I said, it's the nothing about us without us model. There needs to be lots of different ways and safe options to explore what hate crime is and how to report. So what we think is that DDPOs help to remove those barriers by building up trust through lived experience, support to report with specialist knowledge, and more importantly, to recover by linking to the wider community. We currently work with the Met Police. I sit on the Disability Hate Crime Working Group and the local Disability Independent Advisory Group for the Met. So this is a new partnership. It's something that's a little bit different to Gallup and CST and Tell Mama. We don't provide direct services ourselves, but we support we're an umbrella for other organisations. And since April, we've delivered training sessions. So we've had 4 training sessions to 15 DDPOs. We've provided specialist support for hate crime advocates. And we do this by offering secondments to DDPOs that haven't got a hate crime advocate. We've provided emotional resilience and boundary setting, and we have regular hate crime advocate forums. We have submitted 8 submissions and responses to government papers. We've got a hate crime toolkit for DDPOs. This year we're going to continue to be offering what we've got, and we are planning a big event on the 12th of December, which it's going to be at City Hall. So we encourage you all to come. Thank you.